good day to stay on. Now's your chance. Arsenal City!
Hello and welcome back to the TNC podcast. We've got the band back together for another week of Norwich City footballing, podcasting goodness. Timu Pukki has scored another last minute winner and we're back. Chris, good to see you, mate. Connor, welcome back to the show, my friends. Nice good to have you. Good to have some maturity back on the show. I was interested in listening to Canary Call last night on the way home, and even Rob Butler introduced you as kind of the...
Picked me up, didn't he? Yeah.
Kind of the brainy one on the show.
Yeah. Felt a lot of pressure.
Did you?
Yeah.
But you delivered. Although, your phone signal didn't deliver.
I was on the bus.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
And went over a bump and that was it.
You've had a stinker.
Yeah.
You've had a stinker.
Hang on 1 minute. What episode is it, Jack?
We're on episode number 69. We've made it.
It's a huge episode, isn't it?
We've made it this far. How much longer we've got in us, I don't know.
I mean, to get, someone on of Connor's stature at 69 is quite something, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, before we get into any footballing talk, I do just quickly want to raise a picture that I saw in midweek. Connor Southwell. All talk regarding my roll neck jumper. And then rocks up.
I backed you up on it, to be fair. I didn't mind it.
Did you, Connor?
Well, I've got one on today, so...
You have to be fair.
I didn't mind it.
Talk me through the skinny jeans, because they were skinny. Very skinny.
Were they? I didn't think they were until you pointed them out.
Is that what the youth of today wear?
I think so.
Am I just slightly outdated?
Well, as someone who's big in the fashion industry, you've got to keep on touch with the trends, and that's all I'm doing.
It's true. Go and check out Connor's Twitter. Go and see that picture. Even worse, though, Chris, was Christoph Zimmerman's cardigan. Fantastic defender. Awful fashion wearer. Disgusting from him.
It is shocking from Zimbo. But, I'm not going to slag him off because he could probably chest press me times 5. So I'm not going to mess with him. But what I will say politely is that Zimbo, if you're listening, you need to change that jumper big time.
Yeah. He was also wearing shoes and without laces done up. So I don't know how you feel about that. What? They were sort of like boots.
Okay, so they weren't Velcro?
No, and he sort of had laces out like that.
Oh.
They weren't done up.
Really short sort of laces.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you wouldn't have long laces.
Maybe he doesn't want too tight around his ankles on a...
I reckon his ankles are so big, he physically can't tie them up.
Maybe.
That's...
By the way, Manson didn't wear socks again at the weekend.
Yeah, he's going to have
arthritis. It's freezing. What is that?
He's going to have arthritis in them very soon. By the way, Connor, thank you very much for bringing along a snack.
Right.
So here we have some snacking marshmallows from your place of work. We won't disclose it because we know all of your fans will rush in. But a wide range of snacks on choice. So what we have here is raspberry marshmallows coated in 70% dark chocolate. Tasty bundles of gooey deliciousness is advertised.
I really like that from you, Connor.
Sounds like an Emmy Buendia
really
ball.
Like that.
Now, let's have a look.
It's all about the dark chocolate, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, has potential. Dig into them, boys. We won't mention when they're out of date, but thank you nonetheless.
Yeah, cheers.
They're still edible.
Yeah, let's hope. So, let's see if they are... You've got a trio there, lovely.
Okay, here we go. A little live tasting.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Yeah, they're good. Really good.
Free as well, to be fair.
Really nice. Is this the Christmas bonus?
I wish, yeah.
Oh, Southwell, that's really good for me. It's about bloody time as well.
Yeah, because last time you brought snacks was Sheffield United away and you had a stinker on that day.
Oh, they were good.
No, they weren't.
They were
Strawberry
very good.
cream lint. Terrible.
I bought the cake first time I was on.
You did, to be fair. You did, actually. Yeah.
You were told.
Very, very good. Anyway, let's get into football talk. It was Bolton at home. Connor, that was...
Cold.
It was very cold. The end. Right, thank you so much for watching it. It was another 3 points in bizarre fashion, wasn't it? It should have been a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, at 2-0 I think I made the mistake of saying it was fairly routine up to that point. And then the game changed and I was left with a bit of egg on my face.
You also tweeted you can't help but laugh at Sammy Amiobi. Was that before he scored?
Or was that was after. That was after the game, after he got sent off.
I see.
Merely because he took about 6 years to get off the pitch. Which was reminded me of Robbie Savage, actually.
I was then going to say.
It was very Robbie Savage. He sort of stood there for a few minutes. And then...
I think it's just funny to watch regardless, isn't he?
He
looks like he can't. Yeah, he looks like he can't play football.
Didn't really have a neck and was all legs.
Very odd.
He reminded me of me trying to play football. He was a bit gangly, but was also their best player.
So are you saying you'd be the finest player of that Bolton team as well?
Definitely not. No, he's got a few more tricks up his sleeve than I ever had.
Chris, Bolton, they're in a sorry state at the moment. They haven't been paid for November. They came to Carrow Road and put up a bit of a fight, didn't they? And they nearly walked away with a point.
Yeah, I mean, fair play. That's the slightly, if you were to be slightly sceptical of Norwich City at the moment, we do look like we're going to concede. We don't look like we're going to keep goals out. I think that if you can come to Carrow Road and apply the right sort of pressure, you can cause problems. I think that we're fortunate that we're firing off all cylinders going forwards. But also, we're very good considering we're missing some key players. Obviously, Liner's the main one there as well. Obviously, Tim Close not being in the squad, I think, in my opinion, made a difference in that game against Bolton as well. Even though Godfrey, he did very, very well. I just thought that there was a slight lack of leadership, particularly towards the end. Hence the goal going in. Although I think it was Jamal that switched off. In fairness to Godfrey, I thought it was a good game. I thought it was entertaining to watch. I agree with Connor's comments as always, because he's Connor Southwell, sensible Southwell. It did look routine, and I actually think that was the issue. I think that we were complacent. I hope that they admit that they were complacent, because I think they were. We had chances to probably take the game to 3 or 4-1, and we didn't, and then we just go and concede a couple of really sloppy goals. I mean, Connor, I suppose if we want to find something to pick at the moment, it is the defence. I was watching Michael Bailey's review on the Pink, and he was saying the last few weeks we have come up against teams in the bottom half. We've now got a tough run: Bristol, Blackburn, Forest, and then Derby. We'll talk about them in a bit, but if you switch off like we did yesterday, that's when the losses are going to come, isn't it? Yeah,
of course. I think Bolton need to take some credit, because I think the way they changed the game at 2-0 was significant. I think before then they were they had attacking endeavour, but were quite deep defensively. And then
it's when Gary O'Neill came on.
Yeah, and then they began to press Norwich a bit higher and force the mistakes a bit more. And it wasn't what you'd particularly associate with a team 2-0 down away from home. I thought they were very positive in their changes, to be fair. And as Chris said, I don't think it's Godfrey's fault. I don't think it was his inclusion, but rather Closer not being there and the lack of experience. And I felt they felt his loss quite badly, actually.
I definitely think that potentially we slipped back into slightly old Farker, in the sense that obviously Timu saved the day at the end, and by the way, what a goal it was. We need to have a whole piece about that in itself. But for me, I was probably pissing you off, Jack, because I was screaming in your ear saying, make the changes. Why has Daniel Farker not grabbed this game by the horns? And El Hernandez is desperate to get on. We've got Jordan. It's stunk of Jordan Rhodes on 65, 70 minutes. Bring him on, stretch Bolton, tire them out, and they will be mullered. And we didn't. And I respect the fact that Daniel Farke, had faith in his team to go and deliver, and they did. So in fairness, I've not really got a point. I just felt like it could have been a whole lot more comfortable if he'd brought Anel and Jordan Rhodes on a lot earlier.
I mean, Connor, I suppose we are literally trying our best to find little points to pick at here, aren't we? Because we need something to talk about. At the end of the day, that's now, I think it's 11 wins out of 12 home games or something like that. We had an average age of 21-year-olds at the back. We're top of the league. We're now 6 points clear of third place. What we're currently seeing with Norwich City is beyond remarkable.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? I think it feels really special, and it feels special because it's unique. No one else in England is doing what Norwich City are doing in terms of bucking the trend and showing that actually you don't need money to succeed. And sure, Huddersfield did it, but perhaps not. They weren't where Norwich were when they did it, in the sense that no one really fancied them anyway. I think when Stuart Webber came in with Daniel Farker, they had to change a lot, and it's not just the starting 11; it's everything off the pitch. It's the academy, it's the recruitment, the analysis of the team. Everything had to change, and I think that's why it's so special, because we were probably sat here in the summer going, "Well, top 6 is going to be a stretch."
We were
playing better than Huddersfield were doing at this stage. And we've got less money than Huddersfield at this stage.
And that's it. I think that's what makes it so special at the moment. The fact it was unforeseen by anyone. Nobody saw this coming. And the fact that it is so individual to Norwich. The fact that They're doing it their way through academy graduates. We're seeing the likes of Todd Cantwell, who no one saw being in the team in the summer, excelling. We've got Max Aarons, who looks a wonderful player. And I think that's what makes it so special, because the fans have now got a relatability with the squad that they haven't had in previous seasons, where they've had to endure boredom, apathy, and underwhelm, really. So it just feels a bit special at the moment, and it feels unique. I can't remember having or feeling this way about a Norwich side, to be completely honest.
Yeah, and definitely. And even when the second goal yesterday, Chris, the second Bolton goal, it did feel like a real hammer blow, because it felt like old Norwich. We'd done well, we'd got our goals, and then chucked it away when other results were going our way. But even when they scored in the 87th minute or something, you still felt that if we got a chance, we were putting that in the back of the net, and that shows the mindset of a Norwich fan at the moment, and it shows how far we've come.
Well, it makes me giggle that people are still leaving Carrow
it's mental.
early.
It is mental.
I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah, I did question a few.
That's so questionable, and I'm laughing that we ended up winning for those guys. But yeah, I mean, for me, Connor says, I can't remember it feeling this special, and I don't like saying it now, actually, considering where he's at. But this does, and I said this to you on the way out, Jack. It feels like the pinnacle of the Lambert days, which was when we were going from Championship to Prem, and teams were coming to Carrow Road, and don't get me wrong, they were scoring 2 goals, but we'd score 3 more, and we'd always score 1 more than the opponent. I think back to the Derby game, the Millwall game under Paul Lambert as well at home, where John Ruddy ran the length of the pitch and jumped on in front of the snake pit, and we are creating those times once more. So yeah, it is bloody special, and I'm really enjoying the ride, and I think that the expectations of the supporters is in the right place. I think that because of this run that we're on, we're almost all telling ourselves it's going to end soon. Yeah. So when it does happen, that's okay, because we're all just completely like, we're punching well above our weight. We're now, is it 6 points clear of third we are now, or something like that? Yeah. And if I'd said to you, we'll be kissing the playoffs at Christmas, you would have bit my hand off for that, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would have bit my hand off for it. So where we're at now, we've had a massive head start for where we have. I think I read a stat as well that we've won more home games this season already than we had the whole of last season. Not sure if that's completely correct.
And comments
below, that's not true.
I think it's about right. Yeah.
And that speaks ridiculous volumes. And I bore people with it over and over again. Win your home games, and that's all we're doing. And if you can go away and get a point at Hull, that's not the end of the world. Thank you very much. We'll take that. Very, very impressive. And you're saying, Jack, we've got some tough games coming up. I honestly don't think they are as tough as people are making them out to be now. I think that Norwich City are by far the better team than our opposition. I'm not being complacent. I'm just being real now. There's 2 teams that I fear in this league. One, the up-and-coming trending one for me at the moment, is Aston Villa. I do fear them. And Leeds United, I fear them as well. Apart from that, on paper, there's not a single team, home and away, that I don't think Norwich City can beat.
Something that Chris raised there, Connor, is the whole mindset thing. It's fascinating at the moment, because last season there was expectation. We were all moaning at some point whether that be the play was too slow or we weren't where we wanted to be. This point last year, we were fearing a relegation battle. That shows how far we've come. Yet we currently sit top of the table, 6 points clear from third, as Chris alluded to. Yet I haven't seen a fan yet who's going, well, we're definitely getting promoted. And even when we drew at Hull, and even when it was 2-2 yesterday and we've thrown it away, no one was losing their heads. How has that come about? Is that the culture from the club instilling that in fans? Or because it seems like Norwich City fans are now being sensible, and that's a really odd thing.
Be careful.
Well, I think if you look in the summer, all Norwich fans had was all they were given really was the ability to dream. We weren't given anything tangible last season to suggest that this was on the cards.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at that, it's easy to get carried away, and even now it's easy to be naive and say, well, this is, thank you very much, saying that this is going to last forever. The reality is Norwich are going to lose a game, and when they do, and we said it, to be fair, after Stoke, it's going to be intriguing to see their response. And if they respond with 3 points, then that proves the mentality of the team. But we alluded to it earlier when we said after the Bolton goal yesterday, no heads dropped. They were all, I think Tim Krul was in the middle, sort of geeing them up, and it was right. We go again, and we do what we do for the games that have gone before. Look at Millwall. So there does seem to be sort of a siege mentality around it at the moment. But yeah, it's just making sure expectations don't reach a point where they become too much.
At the same time, I completely agree. I'm trying to keep very balanced.
Yeah.
But you also...
It's difficult to, though.
I guess you have to be realistic, and we are top of the table. We've beaten all of the teams around us. A realistic mindset would now be, right, let's win the league.
Yeah, they've got history on their side. I don't know what the exact stat is, but I think it's something like
the last
21 teams have been, and 17 have got promoted, or something like that.
The last 10 seasons, every single team who's been first at this point in the season has gone up automatically.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a massive plus. They've got history on their side, but I think we need to take it on a game-by-game basis, and each one is an individual challenge for different reasons. Yesterday was because, okay, how are Norwich going to break down a team that are going to be a bit more defensive, and when they go away to Bristol City next week, it's going to be, right, how can they play away with two fairly tough championship games that you can easily drop points from, and that's the thing with this league, you can easily drop points, and at the moment they're snatching points that they have absolutely no right to snatch, like yesterday, like Millwall, that last season.
But we should be beating them teams.
Of course, but given the situation,
but we shouldn't have put ourselves at 2-2.
Well, that's the argument. But as you said, they're so good now; they can let teams come back in the game and beat them.
And that's the thing, though, Chris, isn't it? We keep getting these challenges, whether that be when we drew at Hull, will we bounce back with another important win? When we lost against Stoke, can we back it up? When we went away to Forest and Derby, can we win games there? And every week we keep setting ourselves new challenges, and I keep thinking, we're going to fail at this hurdle. And we keep beating them. And I can see it in Connor's eye and the voice. There is optimism there. He's daring to dream.
I know, and that worries me. When Connor's getting that excited, that's when I just have no excuse. I have to get excited when Connor's getting excited.
This team have overcome challenges. I think
here's what
Daniel
Farker
said it was like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
We keep fighting for this treasure, and we keep getting it.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. And one of the we draw back to why did that happen at the weekend? Vitally for me, particularly in that Bolton game, we conceded and instantly the whole stadium erupted with on the ball City, and that for me I was like, holy shit, like that's not happened in a long time. No disrespect to the South Stand, the Bovril boys in the City Stand, in the library, in the Regency, but everyone was together going for on the ball City, and imagine being a player at that point and you just hear that eruption when you've conceded, you've got nothing but to be up for it and but to get all 3 points. Yesterday
wasn't about ability. That winner didn't come about because Norwich were able. It came about because they had character and because they had heart, and that's what all last minutes are. It's built on a foundation of togetherness, which everything Norwich are doing.
And Timo Pukki's finish,
which was exceptional. But Jordan Rhodes also deserves a lot of credit because he kept that alive.
Absolutely, my man.
I've not seen him get too much, but he deserves it because he sort of, I think he held off the defender.
Yeah,
at
he
one
did.
point,
I noticed that,
which was brilliant. So he deserves credit as well.
I think Jordan Rhodes is. And I wasn't sure whether he'd be up for the fight this year, but I think that man deserves a lot of credit because to be a striker who is being kept out is going to be tough. You're training 4 or 5 days a week and then you're not making the squad. That's got to be tough, but he's performing it week in, week out when he's given the chance, isn't he? Scored important goals.
I honestly don't think it's as tough for him as you're making it out to be, Jack. He's top of the league with Norwich City. He's on loan. He's trying to prove a point, i.e. get a move to us or someone else of our ability. He's making a fair wedge. He's not going to be frustrated. He's in around a happy camp. He's contributing towards the goals. He'll play all of the cup games and probably score in all of them, by the way.
But being a bit part player, it might not be tough mentally, but to get into a game when you're a bit part player is tough. It must be tough.
Yeah. I don't think it is for someone of Jordan Rhodes' calibre. I don't. He's delivered season on season, and I don't think anyone should write him off. It's not even a conversation for me. That's exactly why we brought in Jordan Rhodes, and that's exactly why he did what he did for that goal, which arguably was the reason why Timo Pukki had the confidence to finish it. So it's not a conversation. Jordan Rhodes can do it, is doing it, and he ain't worried, and he's doing very, very well. You can see by the reaction when Timo Pukki scored, ecstatic, sprinted like the rest of them, of course, but that's just exceptional, isn't it?
Celebration of the day has to go to Ben Godfrey, though, right? It was a belly slide. I think
he headbutted the
he was fearing.
So much interest in that.
Yeah, Ben Godfrey, you wouldn't want to get an
argument. He's another example, though, because he's pretty much had a watching brief for the whole of the season.
Yeah.
He comes in yesterday and he's showing the same togetherness as everyone else, and that shows really how tight knit this group is. And I think I mean, Jordan Rhodes said last week in the Gun Club, he was asked, would you like to stay at Norwich? He said, absolutely, wouldn't think twice about it. And I think that says a lot. It's about creating an atmosphere that people want to go into and work in. And at the moment, Norwich have found that, and that's only a positive.
And speaking of atmosphere, Barclay and scarves. Talk to me.
Yeah, really good. So, initiative from Barclay and Norwich, and along come Norwich, supported by the club as well. Bring your scarf. I think most people do anyway at this time of the year when it's cold and you're trying to protect your vocal cords. But I thought it looked really good. The flags, the scarves, the atmosphere, it all comes together to create, as you say, the atmosphere and that breeding ground for success.
I was in the River End, so I had a better view of it than you two. But yeah, it did look impressive. And to be fair, I think the atmosphere started well. I thought it was a bit nervy first half, and then second half the fans got behind it again, which is always going to happen. And even the person who sits next to me said to me, it feels like we're sort of in a relegation battle, the way the atmosphere was, because it was quite nervy. But it's this idea about expectation, and because no one expects it, and they're almost waiting for Norwich to trip up. And that's what's so great about it. They keep exceeding expectations.
I think it's always tougher as well to create a really good atmosphere when the away team brings like 32 fans.
It's a long way, in fairness.
Speaking of which, we are actually officially safe now. You mentioned relegation. We are now staying up.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, my dad said to me before.
We are staying up. So we are.
Bolton stayed up with 46 points, which is how much Norwich got.
We're officially in the Championship next season.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So top 6 again next season.
Really
Aim for that.
What I like about the scarves, I've got to say, is I take the piss out of all of the other stands because I don't think they contribute enough at all, and they don't. But the scarves is a very simple thing. No, they don't. They don't.
It's fair.
It is bugger all. Yeah, fine. They don't do bugger all. Because I sat in the library for one game last season, and I started singing, and literally people were telling me to sit down, and and they were giving me funny looks. I'm like, mate, I'm at a football match and I'm supporting the team.
Can I stand up for my block?
Let's not go.
Can I stand up for my block?
No, you can't, because they don't deliver enough. Take away the negativity. The scarves are good because it gets all of the stands contributing, even if it's just for On The Ball City at the start. That's very impressive, and I love that, and it should definitely be a thing. So if you're watching, if you're listening, make sure you bring a scarf to every single home game from now to the end of the season. And actually, fuck that, excuse my French, let's do it at the away games as well for On The Ball City. That should just be a thing. Apart from aesthetically, it looks good, of course. I think it makes a difference. If you've got your arms up in the air with your scarf and you're not singing, that's just a bit weird, isn't it?
So you're gonna sing. I'll tell you what was quite funny about it. When it got to the City bit at the end of On The Ball City, we clap, and just seeing the scarf sort of fold in and go like,
that's the
amusing
thing
to watch.
We now need to figure. How do you clap and hold a scarf at the same time?
Can they make a noise or something?
Yeah, but it's the voice that makes more noise than the claps anyway.
You almost need like a Dragon's Den invention.
We'll clap, you will hold your scarf up. Maybe we could get that going.
The Bovril boys in the City stand can clap, and we can do the scarf bit.
Yeah, brilliant. Anything else we want to add from the Bolton game? Sure, we'll have some.
We've spoken about Timo Pukki's finish.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. You said the other week, Chris, we need to see more people contributing with goals. We're seeing that now. Mario Vrancic, Marco Born-School.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. If you didn't, I've made it up for another talking point.
You've definitely made it up, but that's okay. What I will say, we'll bring up Marco Stiefman again.
I thought he was excellent yesterday.
I've got to be honest, until he scored, I thought, I'm still getting frustrated by him, and I'm sorry to admit that. I'm loving it. I think he's been very, very good. I'm talking 7, 8 out of 10 consistently in every game. Mm-hmm. But there's just still, for me, going forwards, that one more pass that I'm like, come on, Marco, just release it. Just release it a wee bit earlier, and he would be an excellent midfielder. But for me, I'm still a bit, I don't know. But then he's proving me wrong.
I think he's a crucial player. I think what I would add yesterday, if we do want to see continual improvement, he was slightly wasteful in front of goal. He had 8 shots yesterday, scored one of them. He had a couple of really good chances, but he's another one. He's been like a new signing this season.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he's been a revelation. I think there's a few you could put in that category. To be completely honest, but I think perhaps the issue where people sort of maybe underappreciate him a bit is understanding what he does, because
what does he do?
Well, he's not a ball player first and foremost. He's not someone who's going to play through the passes and get loads of assists. But what he will do is provide physicality, which basically means Pukki can play up front by himself. Yeah. Because if not, Norwich, the ball would just come straight back. So it gives Norwich a physical target. He's tactically astute in terms of the angles he creates space for other players like Todd Cantwell, Buendia. The space that they occupy is because of Steepman's movement. And he also allows the fullbacks to push up because there's that connecting link as well between the thirds. So for me, he does so much, but not so much on the ball. And I think he's been a big reason why Norwich have been so good, particularly going forward, because other people have so much more freedom now.
Another wonderful celebration from him yesterday. Massive fan of him just picking the ball up and launching.
Did he give it that as well?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means, but I'm loving it.
Yeah, just it was similar to Tim Close's celebration last season when he headbutted the corner flag. Massive fan of just kind of
random sellers.
Launching the ball in the air. Anyway, let's get into some Twitter questions. Right, that time of the week again when we ask you for questions, statement and life issues. It's always a worrying time to go in to see what you've tweeted. Right, let's see the first question. This is from Ian, who sent a very lovely tweet to us last night to say how he used to hate us, but now he loves us. Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. Thank
Ian,
you.
much like me and Mario Vrancic, we are civil now, and I like him lots.
Okay.
He says, first of all, is Stiepermann better than Messi?
Well,
Different kind of player.
He'd probably get fourth in the Ballon d'Or, I suppose.
Yeah, nice. Queries. This is so.
Stephen Messi. I went to see him live. Messi's honestly ridiculous.
Is he?
Fifth best in the world.
Fifth best in the world. I'd say Stephens probably.
By the way, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
as well.
Mental.
No. So, Ian, brilliant. A question, a query, and a statement. Query: why does everybody hate bounties in the Christmas selection
I'm
box?
so with him. Love bounties.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's good about them. Eat the chocolate off, then eat the coconut off.
Oh, that's questionable. But I love
That's
bounties.
I don't mind coconut. I don't like bounties.
I tell you what, I'm absolutely livid with, and I mean bloody livid. They took out the truffles.
Oh, I wasn't a fan of them
Probably
either.
a choke
Are you
out,
joking?
isn't it?
Are you joking me?
Probably because of Brexit or something, isn't it? You know, they're taking Jaeger out of Wetherspoons and truffles out of the celebration boxes.
Honestly, I was gutted when those truffles went. Absolutely gutted.
So, is it not going to be a very Merry Christmas for you this year then?
You can sit in the corner sobbing now.
Still will.
Oh, and I forgot to say as well, sorry, we brought up on the last podcast, Chris, you had an exclusive that Tim Close eats lots of flapjacks.
Yeah.
Someone got in contact, I'm not going to name who it was, to say that he is the flapjack supplier for Tim Close. So, you know, maybe that's contributed to the knee injury.
It's
too much weight.
It's
flapjacks.
each game. It's before every game.
Yeah.
He buys flapjacks from the same shop in I think it's North Norfolk somewhere.
Yeah, no, had the man slide into my DMs and say, I'm the flapjack man. And,
Right. And are you going to now get him to supply us with flapjacks?
I don't know. Ian also says statement. We're top of the league.
We are
Factually
indeed.
Correct.
And we're having a laugh.
Ian, Maxim says, rumour has it. Can you confirm this that Messi has pictures of Marco Stiepermann on his wall?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can confirm that. Right, Stan says, what are your favourite away day cities/towns to visit? So we're kind of looking for an all-in away day experience here. We're looking for good food, good drink.
There's so many bad places. That's the problem.
For me, I loved going to Bristol City last year. Lovely city, Bristol.
Bristol's
We
really
won.
lovely, yeah.
Fantastic homebrewed cider, good food, good transport network. These are the kind of things you need to be looking for. Bristol, top of the list for me. We got lost in Sheffield.
Yeah, I quite like Sheffield, actually. I think Sheffield will be up there for me. It's
Yeah.
a lovely city, yeah.
Lovely city. Good.
Nice water fountains.
Yeah, lovely water fountains, actually.
Big fan of a water fountain.
I've heard, don't quote me on this, but in Great Yarmouth Town train station,
God.
the new redevelopment, there could be water fountains.
Well, they need
put
something
in.
there to bring some people in, don't
No,
they?
we're talking developments on the
Is that for
Venetian
people to clean
waterways,
themselves
train station, Yarmouth,
Well,
all getting better than it already is.
Well, they need developments on the waterways because the whole place is going to be underwater in 20 years, Jack.
That's very true.
And
it's
Norwich
very
will be
true.
soon as well.
No, they'll be on the coast.
We'll be on the
If-
castle,
If you look
that's
at
all right.
climate change, then they'll actually be on the coast.
Well,
That's fine. If you have your opinion, I'll have mine. Mine's based on scientific evidence, though. So.
well, according to Trump, climate change isn't a thing; it's fake news.
God.
Favourite city/town on
By the way, happy birthday. Lovely
yeah,
pen.
lovely pen.
Connor,
nice
you're going
pen.
to love that.
A big fan of
I can
that.
see you
yeah.
being
Is
a
that a
fan
Parker
of,
pen?
It is a Parker pen.
That was my present.
Who
to
got that
Jack.
for you?
But they don't sell
Did you
these in
get that for
Smiths, do
It's
they?
cute, wasn't it?
Yes.
Shit, I just let it.
They're quite expensive.
I know. That's
So-
a very kind gift from Chris and
You're well
Becky.
thought of.
It's
Yeah,
the
that's
TNC
nice.
bonus got to my head a bit there. Anyway, what was the
The favourite town or city on an away day?
I said this and I know it sounds so bad. And I'm honestly not being biased. There's just too many shitholes in the UK. There's not one place where I go, oh, I really like that. I can't wait to go back. There honestly is.
Can we do quite a surprising one as well?
Yeah, go on then.
I was quite surprised by Wigan. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Wigan?
There's no one really lived there. So
Wigan?
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh my
God. Quite close to where you could get food.
Colin, my
days,
God.
Jeez.
I think you often give Hull a bad rap.
Oh,
let's forget the former
terrible.
city of culture.
Hull's terrible.
City of culture, we know what we are. My favourite chant.
They definitely paid for that because that is a hellhole.
What?
It's a bit of novelty, isn't it?
Hull is awful.
City of culture.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll stick up for the other Hull fans. Right, let's get on. Oh, it's good to see him back. Round of applause, everyone, for Willamot back in the game. I think he's been a bit of a little Christmas holiday. It's that time of the year, isn't it? It's seeding season. Seeds on the grass, and of course, this is the daily life for contract groundsmen. Come rain or sun, weeds will always outgrow grass.
They will indeed.
Do you fear the January transfer market?
Yes.
Would we reject any offers, or has everyone got a price? We'll start with you, Chris. Do you fear January?
Yeah, I do, because I do highly suspect that we will get bids from Premier League clubs for our two arguably best players in Jamal and Max Aarons. I honestly, I'll be stunned if we... Obviously, we're not going to find out officially, but there will be bids for those two in January from Premier League clubs for massive money, and if not, in the summer. So it's going to really test. It is going to really test the board. It is. There's no doubt about that. And I'm sure that there will be a little seed in their head that says, surely we can just let's get rid of him for 18 mil. Do you know what I mean? You would be thinking, yeah, but what if that money doesn't come in now? And we've all seen the club finances. I hope I'm wrong. I am just naturally worried. And I think that the biggest success for Norwich City in the January transfer window is selling the dead weight, i.e. Nelson and Naismith, and not selling Max Aarons and Jamal Lewis. If we can do those things, we would have had a very successful transfer window.
How do you see it going, Connor?
Yeah, I don't really fear it. I think if one of those two goes, it's going to be for silly money. I don't think they'll entertain anything that's...
Yeah, but Connor, then we're going to have James Husband playing again.
Not necessarily, because if they go,
that gives me nightmares.
If they go, we'll buy someone from Germany who's fine.
Yeah,
so,
great shout.
I had on the James Husband point, actually, one of my good friends, Tom, who's a Luton fan. Luton were playing Fleetwood yesterday, and he said that James Husband was one of the worst players he's seen this season.
No,
yeah,
really?
Honestly, that bad.
Oh my God.
Luton, of course, went on and won the game 2-0. James Husband was part of Joey Barton's defence. Anyway, continue.
What was I saying? No, I don't fear it particularly. I think what Norwich will do is they'll act in the present. So I don't think the fact that, the hypothetical of them getting promoted will enter it. So I think if someone comes in for Max Aarons 20 million quid, I think he's gone. And that's realistic, sadly. I can't see Norwich doing too much, anything inwards really. I think everything will be...
I don't think we need it.
No, I don't think we do. I think it will mainly be Oliveira. I think that will be the main one. I'd be shocked to see anyone else, really, but...
The way I see it going, I think there will be bids for Jamal and Max and maybe a Timu Pukki. There's going to be bids for our best players. When you're getting bids, you know your players performing. That's a good thing. The way I see it is, I think Jamal and Max and Todd are all grateful for the opportunity they've been given. Although they've performed incredibly well for us, they have to realise that they have been given a good opportunity and they've delivered on it. I think all of our players will see it out until the summer. If we don't go up, then happy, go off, live the dream. But until then, I would be disappointed if they chose to leave the club in January. I know it's out of their hands with agents and things, but I think if a 15-20 million bid came in for any of them players, I don't think the board would say no, but I think Jamal and Max would go, we're getting first team football, I'll sit out till the summer, I could have the chance to be a regular starter at Norwich City in the Premier League. That's the way I see it going.
Yeah.
I might be just being very naive.
Well, they're not going to get worse, are they? They will continue to deliver throughout this season, so it's not like they're going to go down in value.
I think the risk would be for them is they get a move to a West Ham or someone like that, and then don't get in the team, and then your value drops, and then your progression drops off. But as Stuart Webber has said many a times, players naturally outgrow clubs. I think there'll be very limited transfer activity. I think Nelson will be off. I've heard rumblings, and I hope he's off.
Hello, girls.
ITK.
I don't know about that.
We need an exclusive horn, don't we?
Yeah,
Every time
this is the
there's an
man for
exclusive.
exclusives. He's got his fingers in the right pies.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be much happen in January.
I'd be disappointed to see Max Aarons go, to be honest. I think I'd be more disappointed about him going than Jamal Lewis, in my opinion. I think Max Aarons will play for England. I think he will.
Go on, Connor.
I think he
Go
will,
on.
yeah, because if you think about where he is at 18 years of age,
Mate, I agree.
he's one of Norwich's best players already.
Agree. So mature.
And he loves the Nando's as well.
It's so scary how good he is, actually.
He's the footballing equivalent of you on camera, just like performing. Performing.
He's only a month older than me, so
is he?
Yeah, still very jealous about that. Could have been me.
Could have been you. Probably not. Right, let's move on. Bristol Rovers polls. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I feel slightly unkind. Let's check how Bristol Rovers got on yesterday. Can I
say I prefer them to Bristol City?
Okay. Yeah,
in the same way I prefer Sheffield Wednesday to Sheffield United.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
I agree with the second statement entirely.
I prefer City to Rovers, sorry, but I love you, Bristol Rovers polls. They got crushed 4-0 yesterday.
To who?
Doncaster. Doncaster are a good team.
Could you imagine attending that fixture?
Yeah, that's great. Anyway, Bristol Rovers polls. Thoughts on Ed Balls stepping down? Of course, Ed Balls has gone. Well, not completely, but he stepped down as chairman. I think Ed Ball's got a bad rap, and it's probably because of his political kind of stances and him doing Gangnam Style on Strictly Come Dancing. But I've got a lot of time for Ed Balls. Yeah,
I've got a lot of time for him as well. I think people again don't really appreciate what he's done for the football club. Came in at a really tricky period, made sure the finances were sound, did a job as CEO for a little while.
Yeah, got paid handsomely for it. Let's add that.
Yes, he did, but for the remainder of the time didn't get paid. It was his idea to go off on this new avenue. After speaking to Damien Comolli, who was at Liverpool. So it was his idea. He twisted everyone's arm to get them to go this way, and I think we'd all agree that's worked quite well. And I think it suits with his commitments as well, because obviously he's a very famous person who does a lot for TV. So it makes sense for him not to do a role that he can't give 100% to.
Yeah, 100%.
Which I think he wants as well. I don't think he'd do something if he can't give it his all.
Yeah.
So it's been great for the club, really, I think, in my opinion.
Chris, Ed Balls, top man?
Yeah. Dog's bollocks.
Good, wow, very, very, very kind. Right, Sam Rednall. I think this is going down a similar kind of pattern to many of the questions this week. Whilst people keep calling for a new keeper, Krul actually counts as a homegrown player, so probably won't be dropped anytime soon, and is good enough for this level. However, if we do get promoted, I feel this position may need re-evaluation. Sam, that's an incredibly mature comment of yours. Let's talk about Tim Krul then, because... Let's talk about Tim Krul. Chris, what do you make of our keeper?
I think he is getting... I actually agree with Daniel Farker's comments in all of his press conferences about Tim Krul. I think that he is getting back to where he was at. I think that it is taking him longer than what most people thought of someone with his experience. I think he's kept us in games on numerous occasions, as do all goalkeepers, in fairness. But I think he has shown his experience as well in relation of... I think there's been times... I mean, I said in the Barclay weekend, what I actually kind of, in a really wrong way, like about Tim Krul is he's a proper shithouse of a goalkeeper when we're winning a game and we need to kill time.
Yeah, no, I like that.
And he'll collect the ball and he'll fall to the floor and he'll kick it in with the fans again. And I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm so okay with that.
I wouldn't be okay with it, don't get me wrong, if it was the opposition, but I'm kind of okay with that. I definitely think he needs to improve. I'm not going to hide away from that. I wouldn't say it's to his face, 100% not. I think he'd headbutt me. But yeah, I think he's just okay. I think that the defence have kept him out of a lot more trouble. I also do think there's been 2 or 3 occasions this season where I personally feel like the defence should have been following up anyway.
Absolutely.
If it's sodding wet on the floor, you know that the strikers of the opposition are going to be hitting the ball low and hard to try and force a save. That's one of the things you're told as you go into football as a youngster. If it's raining, hit the ball low and hard, force a save, get a corner. That's just one of the things you're taught. So I'm not going to beat Tim Krul up too much. You've got an agenda, and I'm okay with that, because if someone was saying the same thing about Angus Gunn, I'd be defending him as well. But Angus Gunn he just continuously delivered. And I don't think, in your fairness, Remy did. But
yeah, Connor, you've been critical of Krul at times, and you've stood by Krul at times. Where do you sit with him on December the 9th?
Yeah, I agree with Chris, really.
Bloody hell, you alright?
I think that's what you
I love the way you were shocked when he said that.
I was shocked, yeah. I think you're pretty much spot on, in fairness. I think there was a lot of times where he's made errors that have been really poor. He parries the ball a lot, but he's got a tough act to follow in Angus, who was near on pretty much perfect last season.
Yeah.
I do think the defence have let him down on occasion. They don't respond to second balls quick enough, but as a keeper, and it's a technical point, I don't think that he pushes the ball away, he pushes it back in. But people need to remember he's not played a full season since 2014-15 and has had a really big injury since then as well. So, I sympathise with him a little bit. Also, the balls are lighter, they fizz a bit quicker.
We're not blaming the balls, Connor. We're not going down that route,
It's
mate.
true.
That's
so well.
True,
that was going so well. The balls are lighter.
They are, though. It's true. It's harder for keepers now than it was 10 years ago.
I'm not, even if it's scientifically correct, that's nonsense. I'm not having any of that. Okay. It's the same for all keepers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He needs to improve. I agree with that.
I've seen a lot of howlers from keepers this season. This is
on a serious note,
this is like the World Cup in 2006. Where it's nonsense.
Oh yeah,
2010.
Right, I'm gonna. This is my last thing I'm going to say about Tim Krul for this week. I do have an agenda, and I'm not going to hide away with that.
I wonder if you'll say anything about Remy Matthews.
No, all I'm saying is,
I put money on it.
Let's go right back to the start. Tim Krul was brought in. The expectations of him were set way too high. Fans were remembering performances of his from 4 years ago. That's wrong. People hadn't watched him for 4 years. You can't make a good evaluation of that. So the expectations were too high of Tim Krul. I think there was no better options of who we could have brought in than Tim Krul. So well done to the recruitment for that. From everyone I've spoken to at the club, Tim Krul has been excellent with. I think he's a good person to have in the dressing room. He's experienced. He brings
What a leader. What a leader.
Good leader. We need them times of players. And I don't have anything against Tim Krul. But if we're going down the whole marginal gains route that Stuart Webber loves to go down, where is the weak link? Where could be improved? It's the goalkeeper.
But Jack, we haven't had an opportunity to improve the goalkeeper.
I'm not saying.
You are. You're saying he's the weak link. He's the weak link.
Yeah, he is.
Can I ask a question?
He's made the most individual mistakes of any player in the squad this season.
The boss is talking.
Would you rather Norwich have gone for a goalkeeper they didn't trust 100%?
No, I'm glad we went with Tim Krul.
Okay.
You're a liar, you are.
I'm glad we went with Tim Krul.
You are not glad.
I just don't like when promises are given and then taken back. That's all I'm saying on the matter. But I fully support Tim Krul. But it's absolute nonsense that people are saying that he hasn't made individual mistakes this season, and you 100%
are people saying that?
Yes, they are.
I think a lot of people are actually in recognition of the fact that he's making some mistakes.
But you can't be a blind optimist. He is the weak link in this squad. I fully support him. He's a good goalkeeper, but if we want to improve, he's the first man you change, and you can't argue with that.
Jack,
okay, so who else is worse?
We are top of the league.
I know we are.
Jack,
and I've been positive.
No, you
the
don't.
Whole time.
You clearly don't, because you're beating him up, and it's just
I'm not beating him up. I'm being realistic instead of blindly optimistic.
I tell you what's happened.
Being.
You've got your back up about Remy,
I haven't at all.
And that's fair enough, because the way that Remy was treated wasn't right, and that's fair enough.
It wasn't.
But you're being very harsh on Tim Krul. You are.
Right,
Every time I make a mistake, you look behind me and you glare at me.
Okay, so
you know it.
Okay, so if we want to be hypocritical about the whole thing, Remy Matthews makes one mistake in a Tim Pot pre-season, and that's game over for him. Tim Krul throws 4-5 chances in the back of his net, and it's fine because it's Tim Krul. That's unfair.
So would you rather McGovern come in then?
No, I wouldn't. We haven't got better options.
So what are you saying?
I fully support Tim Krul, but I'm saying he's the weak link in this squad, and no one can disagree with me. No one has given me an option of who's been worse than Tim Krul for this squad this season.
Can I just say very quickly? I was sort of joking about the ball point, about it being.
No, you weren't.
I was a little.
No, you weren't.
It was slightly realistic. Yeah, I get your point about Remy. I understand why you're upset about it.
It's not. The Remy thing is irrelevant.
It's not. It's very relevant because that's what's made you this angry about Tim Krul.
I would have been saying it about any keeper.
I think he's got pros and cons. Yes, he makes mistakes, but we saw in the dying embers of yesterday when he came out and caught that ball, which I thought was really significant because it did relieve the pressure.
Who spilt it for the second goal? You can't forget
well,
that.
Well, of course, but where's the defence following up? That's the question I'd ask, because they don't respond quick enough.
But if he would have caught hold of the ball, the defence wouldn't have had to follow up.
The strikers kicked it against Krul, so he spilt it, and that's the issue. It's
Well, that's what strikers are meant to be doing.
Well, he saved it.
He should have got his hands on the ball.
Well, I disagree, because I think it's very tough.
If you're giving praise of what Krul did well in catching the ball, you're going to have to look at why we're in that situation.
So does Timu Pukki get criticism when he misses a chance?
I love this from you, Connor.
Yes, he did yesterday. He wasn't good enough for the first 70 minutes of the game.
Does Mario Vrancic get criticism when he misplaces a pass?
Yes, he does.
You appreciate the positive things he does. When he hits the 40-yard, you go, oh, it's lovely. When Tim Krul makes a save, it's sort of, right, that's what's expected.
Yeah, but that's like saying we weren't criticising the players for missing penalties. We were.
Of course.
When Tim Krul makes an individual mistake, he gets criticised.
Yeah, but you're not saying Mario Vrancic is the weak link in the team, and you didn't say that about Timu Pukki.
That's because he's not.
Yeah, but he's missed 2 key penalties this season.
Yeah, he has, and Tim Krul's made 4 or 5 individual mistakes.
But those penalties haven't cost us in the same way that Krul's mistakes haven't cost Norwich.
That's because the rest of the team keep propping him up.
What I will say is, to finish the debate, the goalkeeper in the team is the last line of defence. Fact.
It's the toughest position.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of a bonus position because you're just trying anything to keep the ball out. So let's calm down.
It's unique as well, because you can only have one.
We're top of the league, and it's all good.
I think this debate is testament to the fact Norwich are being so good.
Yeah, I'm trying,
because it is sort of where they are.
Connor, we lead a fan channel. We need something to argue.
Yeah, of course.
But it's all okay. It's all okay. We can't criticise Tim Krul because the balls are lighter. Let's move on. Right, let's get on to Olive Middleton. This is a fantastic question. If you had to make a centre-back partnership out of Carlos Cuellar, Ignacy Miquel, Joseph Yobo or Sebastian Basson, who would it be? Let's not forget we've got a player of the season in that partnership. We've got the record appearance maker for Nigeria in that. We've got an Ignacy Miquel, an Arsenal Academy graduate. Carlos Cuellar, who's highly applauded in
this might be the hardest question, to be fair.
Right, I'll go because I've got mine nailed on already. Definitely Carlos Cuellar.
He's getting in there.
Even though he gave away all them penalties.
Very smart guy. Added me on LinkedIn. Knows what he's doing.
Right.
He gets it.
So we've got an agenda here.
Definitely.
He's just picking his mate.
Absolutely, of course I am. They've done well so far for the football club. Seb Basson, dragging a caravan through 100 yards of mud. Complete waste of space. Awful. Zero interest.
Honestly, nearing the top of the league.
One good season. Awful. Tried to make it as a DJ. Couldn't do that. Awful.
How's he getting on at Peterborough?
He's doing well.
Is he? Good.
Yeah, Peterborough.
Nearing the top of the league.
So Martin developed Peterborough.
You shot me out there. And I like I'm going to go Joseph Yobo.
Yeah, I really rated Joseph
Ignacy Miquel, zero interest.
I don't think I saw him play,
wasn't
so I can't really comment.
Part of a promotion-winning side, though, wasn't he?
And he did that Christmas cribs thing.
He did, yeah.
Which is quite funny.
Yeah. I've got a lot of time for all of these players. You know what? Scrap the left back and right back. All 4 are getting in my defence.
I think Miguel can play at right back, so yeah. We'll play a 3 at back.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Who are you having in goal? Remy Matthews?
No, I'm going to put Lee Camp in goal.
Yeah?
Lee Camp's going.
Always decent against us.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw someone say that they thought Daniel Farker was his dad earlier in the week.
Oh.
Because of the hair. They both have similar hair.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Maybe chuckle that one.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fantastic to have Saluted Sabreni back. Wish me a happy birthday. A big fan of... Did Dennis come on yesterday or not?
Do you think did he come on yesterday? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Because I turned around and went, it's big
sorry,
D.
I must have missed him.
No, I agree. Anyway, Saluted Sabreni, massive fan of him. Do you think we should be looking at another keeper in January? Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Krul. Loads of experience and organise the defence very well, but we do potentially need somebody who will gain us more points than lose. I'm not being negative. I think Krul will be a good keeper this season. Just throwing the idea out there.
How many points did he cost us, though? Really?
How many points have the strikers saved? We've had this argument. Do we
if
need
you've got
another
strikers
keeper
to
in
save
January?
you, a mistake's not irrelevant.
I'll distract you from the question. There's news on Dennis Rubeni Big D icon hat.
Oh, is there?
Marcus Rashford has been spotted wearing the icon hat.
It's a trend. He's an influencer.
He's a
He
maverick.
is.
Dude, I don't think... Let's put this to bed. I don't think we need to sign anyone in January.
No,
Agreed.
Whoa. You can't come out with that after your goalkeeper ran. You cannot come out with that.
All I'm saying is...
How can you come out with that? Are you going to accept that?
I'm not going to.
I'm not accepting that. Let's not accept it, Connor.
All I'm saying is with Bolton's current situation...
He's the weak link.
All I'm saying is with Bolton's current situation, with a possible transfer embargo, it might not be over for Great Yarmouth's finest keeper just yet.
I thought it was done, though. Is it not done, officially?
can't confirm nor deny.
And I thought it was a free as well.
Let's move on. Let's move on indeed. Great question here from Josh. What are your go-to sandwich combinations? So what's if it's your last meal and you can only have a sandwich, what's going to be your filling?
Sausage.
Just on its own?
Well, I might put a bit of cheese in there. To be fair.
Sausage and cheese,
Well,
you know what?
It is episode 69, so I'm surprised
No,
you
I'm not a fan of that because one of the best-selling BAP combinations at Barry's in Yarmouth is sausage and cheese.
Barbecue sauce, happy days. Job
I
done.
like that from you, kind of bit
Kind of
left
loves a
field, but I like
sausage
that.
sandwich. Good.
What about you, Chris?
I'm really, really ashamed to admit this, and I'm so sorry. And yeah, I am a complete snob, and yeah, I do shop at Waitrose.
No, it's going to be salmon, isn't it?
It's salmon and cream cheese and I just love it.
Yeah,
I
but
love
you're
it.
also a man who
And that
doesn't have
chive bagel,
butter in.
that
Do you know
chive
have
bagel
butter?
as well. But I've just got zero interest in butter. Why waste your time with something that delivers absolutely nothing apart from lubricant?
It's got healthy fats in.
Does it?
Yeah, butter has.
But yeah, I better get on it then.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to trust.
What's
somebody.
your go-to sandwich?
Mine. I'm going to go for crab.
Quite like
Crab sandwich.
corned beef as well. That's
Corned beef's
decent.
lovely.
Big fan of corned beef.
No. I'm going to have a crab sandwich from Blakeney Point.
Crab's decent, yeah.
From Blake.
Prefer the white meat to the dark
Not from
meat.
Yarmouth then, no?
I'll happily get it from Nichols Seafood in Yarmouth.
Welsh crabs are good.
Wells crabs are good, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, Connor. Agree with you there. Louis, can you see Kenny McLean getting back in the side?
Can't see anyone getting inside at the minute, the way they're playing, to be honest.
Hanley, Close, will he get back in?
Yeah.
So you can't
Well,
see
beyond,
something.
okay, yeah. Beyond Tim Closer, I can't see anyone
Yeah,
else
yeah.
getting in at the moment.
Hanley?
No, not for me.
Okay, Chris, Kenny McLean. Kenny
Yeah.
McLean, top boy.
McLean will get back into the side by the end of the season. Because
Where,
there'll be
where would you
injuries.
play him? Just out of intrigue.
Midfield? Where would you play him?
No, but whereabouts in the field?
I could play him holding. I could play him out wide. I could play him in the current Marco Stiepman role. I think he's a great player to have in your squad to bring in. I definitely think he'll definitely feature before the end of the
Yeah,
season,
agreed.
and he's an integral part of the squad. If you know anything about you know the behind the scenes stuff, he's a very well respected character in the changing room. So I definitely think he'll feature.
I think that's a good point you raised there, Chris.
Chris is
I was
fine,
listening
Chris.
to the Longmount World Football podcast from Owen Tudor Jones up here. By the way, the longest any person has travelled to come on the TNC podcast. Owen come from North Wales to here for the podcast. I think he went out on a bit of a piss up with Gilly afterwards, but there we go.
Who's Gilly?
Matt Gill.
Who's he?
Yeah, no longer relevant in Norfolk. But he was saying that fans don't get that if they're not getting in the starting 11 at the weekend, fans just think, they're irrelevant. But players who you might not expect have such a crucial role in the squad, and that could be a Matt Jarvis, that could be a Kenny McLean, the players who we're not seeing featuring.
Russell Martin last season.
Russ last season could be crucial roles. So, Ben Marshall might not be getting in the team, Kenny McLean might not be getting in the team, but they all play their little parts. And
it's all about atmosphere, isn't it? It's all about atmosphere around that squad, and that's how you build togetherness. If you've got a positive one and people believe in what they're doing, that's how you score last minute winners like that. And it's not just the 11 on the pitch; it's everyone off it as well, and that goes for staff as well, because there'll be some key staff who won't get mentioned who deserve it.
I see the kit man's a bit of a legend apparently.
Yeah,
John Boy, is it?
That.
I think his name's John.
I don't know.
I've also heard that Mickey McGovern's a top boy in the dressing room as well, so let's not write Mickey McGovern off just yet. Sam Pitcher, if you had to choose player of the season now, who would be your top three? For Sam, it's Close in third, Aaron's in second, and the Nordic lovely man Timu Pukki in first. Then he says, tough one. Who would be your top three of the Barry Butler trophy?
That's a tough question.
I tell you what, you go third, Connor second, and you can pick first.
Can I say first now?
Are we doing alternating ones?
There's no argument that first place is Pookie. There's no argument.
Isn't there?
There's no argument. Free agent, zero expectation, written off by the fans, playing up top on his own. Arguably had scraps to go off in the first few games as well, and arguably still get scraps to feed off as well. Definitely, Team Pookie is the player of the season so far. No argument.
Would you agree, Connor?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Who's your second?
Leitner,
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, you love Liner, don't you? And I don't disagree with that.
Big fan.
Yeah,
Big
Mo
fan.
Liner second.
Aaron's, is he getting in the top three?
Yeah,
Third
he's
for
got
me.
he's got to go third. Yeah,
There's an argument for him being second, in honesty.
That was easy, wasn't
I love
it?
Mo Leitner, so
Yeah, you do love them. Yeah, I think I'd actually go.
Remy Matthews?
No.
Tim Krul?
I think I'd actually put Lime.
Tim Krul.
No, actually, I agree
Could
with
you
you.
imagine? You can imagine Jack on the bevies. Tim Krul, player of the season.
He might drop it.
Look, you know what? I don't get why people are hating me. I don't hate Tim Krul.
Because you keep banging on about Remy Matthews.
I don't.
You do.
When was the last time I mentioned Remy Matthews on Twitter?
Oh, well. I was going to say about 10 minutes ago.
Good. Ben Ambrose, Football Manager or FIFA?
Football Manager, no argument.
FIFA.
Yeah. What's your best ever? All right. What's your best ever Football Manager career?
Hang on, you stink of Football Manager. It has to be said.
I bet you
really you tinker down to the really fine statistics. Don't
Well, there's
you?
no point doing it if you don't.
In your opinion.
In my opinion, yeah.
Do you get a suit on for a final?
Yeah, you do. Don't you?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah,
I don't.
you do,
No,
yeah.
I'm sort of like a German manager, very casual on the touchline.
Okay.
Just composed, might put a Parker on.
Okay.
Although if I have had a touchline ban in the past, I have sat in another room. So that has been known.
Best ever save?
I got Kings Lynn to that League One once, and then
Wow.
it corrupted, which is gutted about that. Okay. Got a nice taste on it at the moment with Salford, so I'll keep you updated. But
So you
just gotten promoted.
That's a classic hipster sort of selection.
Well,
isn't it?
is it Salford a cash, pumped into it?
I did sign Nico Cranchard, to be fair. So.
You signed Nico Cranchard?
Yeah, channelled my inner Harry Redknapp.
Wow.
And then he did his
By the way,
cruciate ligaments. and was
great
out,
value
so-
when I'm a celebrity. Can I just
Oh, it's
add?
been brilliant.
Mm.
It's been brilliant.
Fantastic viewing figures for ITV.
My
Penny
favourite
Roses,
is
Who's going to win?
I'll use the cheats on FIFA to get Norwich the what's it called, the financial
Yeah.
transfer, which basically gives you Man City's budget.
Right.
So you can just sign all sorts of players. So you
You should go
obviously
to signing on FIFA.
Well, you obviously sign Ronaldo if you cheat. You
Yeah.
sign Ronaldo, don't you? Or Messi if you can. I really like, and I forgot his name. It's the guy that played for Ghana.
And
Asamoah Gyan.
Yeah, Asamoah Gyan.
Kevin Prince
Sunderland.
Boateng.
There's a couple of Ghanaians that I love. I love the Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Seriously, I love the Ghanaians on FIFA. Quality players.
Good.
It's just pace, though, FIFA, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It is just pace.
See, Football Manager, no. It's not all about pace.
It's
And that's
about-
what I
Yeah,
like
but the
to
real
say.
game. But you look at why Norwich City's doing well at the moment. I'd argue that it's pace. Max Aaron's pace. Jamal Lewis pace. Buendia pace.
It's not just pace, though.
Yeah, but that's the major part.
It's a factor, yeah, but it's not just
but
pace.
it's a major. It's their key strength, Connor.
Well, they're quite good on the ball, to be fair.
Yeah, but their key strength is that they're all very fast players that Norwich
I'd
City haven't
argue-
had in
yeah.
previous seasons.
Yeah, there's that
You can't
element,
argue
but
with
it's not the only element.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it's the key element.
I disagree.
Tete, Vrancic, all very quick players. As we
Oh,
know.
Teddy, by the way, what a recovery yesterday after his incident.
What was the
Oh
incident?
yeah. He got
What was
knocked
the
in his
incident?
heads, didn't he?
Oh, he did, yeah.
And he gave it that, and the whole Carrow Road winced. Which
Well,
is,
he's had his children, doesn't he? Not as valuable as they once were.
Yeah.
Let's say.
What,
right.
children?
No, his nether regions.
Oh,
Right.
Tom Tribal would have just carried on. Just saying.
Yeah, I agree. Final question: Adam, are Jack and Remy secretly in a relationship? I'll let Remy confirm that one. Drop him a tweet. Thank you so much, boys. We've got a game this weekend. Bristol City, you going?
I'm not going, no. I was going to go, but then the television decided to make it late, so I wouldn't get back till about 1 in the morning. I've got work the next day, so yeah, I wimped out of it.
Good. Putting your job ahead of Bristol City.
Yeah, put my health, I think, before.
Yeah, I agree. Chris,
Yeah, no, I like that from Connor.
Bristol, will we win?
Health.
You like health.
I do like health. Yeah, we will win. Of course, we'll win. We're Norwich City.
Bristol City in good form, though, Connor.
Yes, yeah, I think they've won the last two,
Yeah.
haven't they? So,
That's
one was
fantastic.
against
That's
Ipswich.
exceptional form.
but
Winning 2
before
games
that,
of football.
before that, I don't think they've won in 5. They've been up and down Bristol City, so they've
They
been
are.
all over the place.
Oh, good form, 2 in a row. You'd be happy with that.
Not if I was a Norwich fan, no.
I think our winning run is currently 2 wins in a row, Chris. It was a draw before that.
Yeah, decent shout.
So exceptional form. And they've got a striker called Zhao Zhao, I think. Isn't that how you pronounce it? Something
Oh,
like that.
yeah, I like that.
Yes, yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm not going to try.
Bristolians, a lot of time for you guys, so hopefully we'll stuff you at the weekend. Anyway, thank you so much for watching episode number 69 of the TNC podcast. Please do subscribe on
69.
iTunes. Links in the description. Please subscribe on YouTube and go and check out Connor Southwell, the brains of Talk Norwich City on
That's a
Twitter.
bold claim, that.
No, it's really
It's true.
not. There is no other brains. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.